Hello everyone, this is Savni, the co-host of Purva Khan podcast. As we've decided, in the honor of Women's Day, we would be having a story of the past, but a story of an inspiring woman in our history. And just a reminder that all of these women are somewhat lost in the history books. Like, they're still there, that's how we got to know them, but they're not the most popular kind of people among us, not the most well known to us. And I must say, they're quite an interesting bunch. So please do look forward to this mini series, and let's get started with the Woman of the Week, which is Ada Lovelace. That brain of mine is something more than merely mortal, as time will show. And it did. Ada Lovelace, 1815 to 1852. Ada Lovelace was an English mathematician and the world's first computer programmer. Right, you heard that right. Someone from the 1800s was the world's first computer programmer. Lovelace was born into privilege as the daughter of a famously unstable romantic poet, Lord Byron. Guys, ringing any bells? Have you heard of Lord Byron? Well, he left her family when Ada was just 2 months old. Ada was a charming woman of society who was friends with people such as Charles Dickens, just casually like friends with Charles Dickens. But she's most famous not for being friends with these kind of people, but for being the first person ever to publish an algorithm intended for a computer. Her genius being years ahead of her time. Lovelace died of cancer at 36, and it took nearly a century after her death for people to appreciate her notes on Babbage's analytical engine, which became recognized as the first description for computer and software ever. Literally, in the Babbage's analytical engine, Babbage and Ada Lovelace talk about how a computer will store its memory and how it'll all be digitalized. They literally describe a computer in, however way they could in the 1800s. And apparently the computer also uses steam because, it's the 1800s. But the thing was that Ada, being a mathematician, had created a computer algorithm, and this algorithm was then referenced 100 years later when they were actually starting to make computers. So Lovelace really was a genius and a computer programmer and a nerd, and we should all be inspired by her. So let's dedicate this week into exploring more about maybe programming and how it was, how it is, what's the future of it, and everything. And who knows, maybe you're interested in this field and pursue it in the future. So yeah, you got to know its history. Before we end today's podcast, I would like to remind you all to please check out the link in the description box, which leads us to the Save Soil movement, where you can take various actions regarding this movement. Let's save soil and hence help our Mother Earth. Come on everyone, join this movement and become an Earth buddy. Let us all become part of this movement, as we are part of the Earth, all of us, and just take action as early as possible and give us support as much as possible. Thank you so much for listening to the podcast. We hope you'll start taking your action and become an Earth buddy. Thank you. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And support our podcast because it is for a good cause. You're learning so much about history. Bye guys, meet you next week with another inspiring woman.